Present arms. Order arms. Left face. Forward march. Left.
Please sit down, everyone. Well, good morning to every single one of you. Good morning to one and all. Welcome to the inauguration of the 17th president of the University of Minnesota. I'm Ken Powell. I'm the chair of the Board of Regents, and on behalf of the board, it is my pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to all of you who've joined us today. Before we begin, I first want to acknowledge that the University of Minnesota Twin Cities is built within the traditional homelands of the Dakota people. And we're also grateful to the Minnesota Indian Affairs Council for the loan of the 11 Minnesota tribal nation flags. And we thank you to the tribal nation leaders who are with us today. I'd also like to recognize elected officials here today. Governor Walz and Lieutenant Governor Flanagan, House Higher Education Committee Chair Connie Bernardi, and Senate Higher Education Committee Chair Paul Anderson. And a very special welcome to the family and friends of President Joan T.A. Gabel, many of whom have traveled quite long distances to celebrate her presidential inauguration alongside her. Now, most of you are joining us virtually this morning. Welcome to all of the students, faculty, staff, alumni, donors, friends, community members, and Minnesotans for tuning in. This is truly a momentous and a historic occasion for the university and for the state of Minnesota. In our 168-year history, today marks only the 17th presidential inauguration. Although many elements of President Gabel's inauguration incorporate new and modern events like the campus-wide celebratory walk and the celebration set to take place on Northrop Mall later today, the installation this morning is filled with history and tradition, like the presentation of the Mace and the medallion. So it's now my pleasure to welcome today's Mace bearer, Professor Carol Chomsky. Professor Chomsky is professor of law at the University of Minnesota Law School, where she also previously served as Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. In 2016, Professor Chomsky received the President's Award for Outstanding Service. Active in shared governance, she currently serves as Vice Chair for the Faculty and University Senates. Please welcome Professor Chomsky.
Thank you, Chair Powell. As Vice Chair of the University and Faculty Senates, I would like to add my welcome to all of our guests, both those of you in this room and those of you watching live this morning. On behalf of our faculty and staff, I am honored to participate in today's installation ceremony as the Mace bearer to formally welcome Joan T.A. Gabel as the 17th President of the University of Minnesota. The Mace is a traditional symbol of authority that derives from medieval times in England. Ceremonial maces are now used in governing bodies worldwide. A mace was carried at the University of Minnesota for the first time at the inauguration of our 9th president, O. Meredith Willson, in 1961, and is regularly carried to lead processions at university commencement ceremonies. Today we use it to represent the formal transfer of authority to the new president. The mace is topped by a sphere, which is said to represent unity and equality, because no point of the sphere is nearer or farther from the center than any other point on the surface. The golden color has been associated with compassion, courage, passion, and wisdom, and as the color of the sun, with the power to illuminate, which reminds us that universities are the custodians of enduring traditions of learning. All of that symbolism is appropriate and important as we recognize the new president's leadership of the University of Minnesota. Joan Gabel earned her BA in philosophy at Haverford College and her JD from the University of Georgia and worked as an attorney before moving to higher education. She served in leadership and faculty roles at Florida State University and Georgia State University, was dean of the University of Missouri's Trulaske College of Business, and most recently served as executive vice president and provost at the University of South Carolina. Her research and academic interests have fittingly included women's leadership and legal and ethical concerns in business and higher education governance. She has been recognized with many research service and teaching awards, including as a Fulbright Scholar and a Shining Star in academic leadership. President Gabel's unique blend of education and professional experience across the liberal arts, business, and law, and in higher education administration equips her well to seek solutions and opportunities and to continue the University of Minnesota on a path to a bright future. Perhaps most importantly, from my perspective as a longtime leader in faculty governance, President Gabel has said and demonstrated that she is collaborative to her core. She values the voices of students, staff, and faculty as vital to her leadership, knowing that we all can and must contribute to defining and pursuing the future of the university. I have seen already how she engages members of the university community with deep respect, warmth, and humor, the foundation for effective collaboration. And when I heard her say that as provost, she conferred with the head of faculty governance via what they referred to as the bat phone, I knew she was the kind of leader we need. She will be a decisive and visionary leader, and she will be successful because she will strive to create an environment where we can all share in and support her vision and decisions. Under Joan Gabel's leadership, we stand ready to work alongside her to make this great university even greater and to serve our students, our state, our community, and our world. Now it is my honor to introduce Minnesota's 41st Governor, Tim Walz.
Good morning. Thank you, Professor Chomsky. Chair Powell, thank you for your service. To the Regents, thank you for your selfless service to this institution and Minnesota at large. To faculty and staff of this great institution, distinguished alumni, and to Minnesotans who are watching, it is an honor for me and a privilege to be here as we get ready to install the 17th president of this great institution. I'd also like to extend that thank you, and I appreciate the notice of the 11 sovereign nations flags that are flying here. It's important to remember the land-grant university who granted that land, and the Dakota who are amongst us, and the Ojibwe. We are grateful for that. This institution is fabled. 2 vice presidents, 55 members of Congress, 17 Nobel laureates, countless lawyers and teachers and firefighters and entrepreneurs. 1 current lieutenant governor, alumni from here, and 1 very proud father of a freshman at the University of Minnesota. So I had the opportunity last week to be in Japan and traveling with 4 other governors from Midwest states, and it was a trade mission for Midwestern governors, but it became whose state is better competition. And talking about the accomplishments of this state, talking about our achievements in education, talking about the health and well-being of our citizens, talking about the 17 Fortune 500 companies and the startups, talking with the companies who are doing business in Japan, like Medtronic and 3M. When you start to triangulate things, it comes back to, at the heart of that, the beating heart of Minnesota and the success of it is the University of Minnesota. And to watch what this institution means, to watch what it's done over time in building the state and creating the leadership and the opportunities, it was interesting for me to watch as, again, being with other Big Ten schools, if you will, to see the sense of respect that is given. And that is because of the leadership in this room. And it's the leadership of those who are entrusted to hold the mace and, as President Gabel will soon do, become the president of the University of Minnesota. I had the opportunity earlier this year to sit down and have breakfast with Joan Gabel at our residence. I say that now at our residence. I can't quite get used to that from my little house in Mankato. We have this little place now in Summit Avenue. But that's a place where Minnesota comes to talk. And my wife always says that the real important discussions happen at home. And those of you in this room who know and have had the pleasure to spend time with our incoming president know that what strikes you immediately is the keen intellect that comes through almost immediately, and the fierce passion for what the mission is. And when I say that about the mission of understanding the complexity of a large land-grant university, a research institution, an amazing array of what's coming out of this. We're just celebrating the 100th year of the Carlson School of Management, and this year alone, 19 startups spinning out of there. The state's leaders in the great companies coming out of that, but understanding that. But what came apparent to me in the moments of meeting Joan Gabel was, she understood that the strength of Minnesota and the strength of this institution lie in its people. The people who are here and those freshmen who are going to come in and are coming in. And those freshmen are those potential freshmen that are out there to wonder, where do I choose and where do I go and where am I valued? Joan Gabel makes it clear that they are valued in Minnesota and they are valued at this institution. And everywhere our president has been, words like dynamic, transformational, and again, I'm glad I heard it, and it is apparent, collaborative. And that collaboration is what separates Minnesota from others. That collaboration is what lets me talk about to the Japanese companies about what we have to offer here and what they will find. And so it is just my pleasure to be and have the special privilege of being ready to introduce to you our 17th president of the University of Minnesota. So with that, I would ask President Gabel to come forward. Professor Chomsky. Some of you who know me know that I don't use the notes. They were very clear about this. There are words that you must say in this. So thank you. President Gabel, by the power vested in me as the governor of the state of Minnesota, I present you with the Mace of the University of Minnesota, a symbol of leadership. May it help you lead the university to a bright future, serving our state from today and far into the future. Congratulations.
A few more words that must be said. By the authority of the Regents of the University of Minnesota, I present you, Joan T.A. Gabel, a symbol of your office as 17th President of the University of Minnesota on this, the 20th day of September, 2019.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for being here today in person, or those of you who are watching online around the state, around the world. I'm going to reserve broader comments for my inaugural address later this morning, but I just want to take a few minutes to extend my thanks to so many in the University of Minnesota community and beyond. Many university faculty members and representatives are here, and I'm appreciative of them. Chair Powell, thank you for your kind words this morning and for your leadership. And to echo your comments, I would like to extend a special thanks to the Minnesota Indian Affairs Council for providing the flags of the tribal nations for this ceremony. I would also like to recognize and thank Vice Chair Svigum, current and past members of our Board of Regents, Board Executive Director Brian Steeves, and the board office team and my own office team, including our student employees. Governor Walz, thank you for being here and for your comments. We greatly value our partnership with you, Lieutenant Governor Flanagan, the state, and I look forward to working together with you and your team and our elected officials, citizens of the state, and others on how best the University of Minnesota can fulfill its mission. Many thanks to Professor Carol Chomsky for not only representing our faculty today, but for your record of scholarship and commitment to shared governance, our institution, and our students. And I look forward to working with you and the faculty as a whole through the FCC and beyond. And to all of our faculty and staff, thank you for all that you do to support the University of Minnesota. And to all of our student leaders and officers who advise our university, as well as our 66,000 students across our system, you inspire us and you give us confidence about the future. And to the members of my cabinet and senior leadership team, including our campus chancellors, I'm grateful for your support and hard work and your commitment to excellence. And to everyone involved in hosting events this week, and for everything that it took to plan today, and for everything that it takes to make something like this happen, I'm very appreciative. I'm especially appreciative to the University of Minnesota Foundation, the planning committee, and their entire team, which was literally dozens of people. And lastly, I'm very pleased and honored to recognize that my family are here. My husband, Gary, my 3 children, our parents, my uncle, and friends who are like family. I'm very honored and humbled to be only the 17th person to hold this office in our nearly 170-year history. I am so excited and looking forward to all that we're going to accomplish together in the years ahead, and I can't wait to see everyone along Scholars Walk and on Northrop Plaza after this ceremony. So thank you all very, very much.
All right, just a few concluding remarks. Please be seated for a few more remarks. First of all, congratulations again, President Gabel. We are so thrilled to have you here at the University of Minnesota. So following the conclusion of this ceremony, we'll pause for some official photographs with the ceremony participants while all of our guests enjoy a brief reception just outside of this room. Then we will all depart for Scholars Walk together, where we'll line up for the celebratory walk to Northrop Mall. Following tradition, Professor Chonsky, the Mace bearer, will lead the group, followed by ROTC flag bearers, the University of Minnesota Marching Band and Spirit Squad, and our 5 campus mascots. All are welcome to join us along Scholars Walk. President Gabel will deliver her official inaugural address from the Northrop Steps beginning at 11 a.m. And we hope you'll join us there in person or online. Her address will be live streamed. A campus-wide celebration will take place on the Northrop Mall after her address. Lunch featuring a corn roast, Minnesota apples, and vegan chili will be served. The celebration will also include live music from the School of Music, pop-up markets featuring alumni-owned businesses, booths featuring various student groups and university resources, and I'm told a huge variety of food trucks and activities throughout the mall. This fall, President Gabel will be visiting Crookston, Duluth, Morris, and Rochester for inaugural celebration events. Please stay tuned for more information about those events. So thank you all for joining us here today, in person or online, and a special thanks to the family and the friends of President Gabel and all of the ceremony participants.